everyone, this is Kevin with Divinely Designed, and I have a paper crafting project. This is going to be a little jar to hold pencils, or I made one to hold paintbrushes. So the blue one you see there is one that I made, and I had somebody, one of the people on Stamp Nation asked me to do a video, so this is a good project to use an old jar. A mason jar works great, or an old jelly jar will work, or even if you have an old candle that is done and you have the glass part. You're going to need some acrylic paints, some paper flowers or punched out flowers, a stamped sentiment, and some paper and some glue and some scissors. Here I'm just going to measure out the circle size by using the lid as a template. This piece of paper is some watercolor paper I had made from another project, so I'm just using some of my scraps, making sure it fits in the lid. And then I'm going to stamp it with a sentiment. This is from Stamping Up, and the stamp set is called Yippee Skippy, and the stamp I'm using says, "You can never have too much happy." I'm using VersaFine ink, which is a pigment inks, but I'm getting the stamping sort of out of the way, and I'm just going to let it dry. So I'm putting that off to the side. And that's all there is stamping really for this project. Next, we're going to mix up some paints. You're going to use some Mod Podge and some acrylic paints. I was going for a really light pink, so what we're really trying to do is actually tint the Mod Podge. So I just mixed up some white and some magenta to make a really soft color pink, kind of like a soft bubblegum pink. And then you're going to paint the inside of your glass. Now, the only thing I did prior to this is sort of just wipe it out and make sure it was clean. Now, you're going to do 2 coats. This first coat, you don't have to be too, it doesn't have to be perfect, because you're going to have to do a second coat, because you're going to get streaks in it. So just sort of be consigned to the fact that you're going to do 2 coats to it. But, cover as much as you can in the first one, but you'll catch any mistakes in the second one. Next, I'm mixing the same kinds of paint for the lid. Here I'm doing kind of a soft green, or kind of a soft celery kind of color. This is sort of a spring themed glass, and I'm just going to paint the lid here also. You only have to really worry about the outside of the lid. Some of the drips kind of got on the inside, so I was just cleaning it up. And then we're going to dry it. Now, I'm using a heat gun here, and you want to dry it enough so that this first coat is all dry, and then you're going to do a second coat, and that will make it nice and solid image. If you want to make this more durable, you can actually bake this. I think if you put it in your oven around 180 for an hour, it'll actually make it sort of more durable. Now, it's not meant to be beaten up a lot. I mean, this is mostly a decorative item. So if you put stuff in it, you will get scratches in here. It's not going to be permanent, but, it's mostly to look nice. Okay, so I'm done using my heat gun. I've dried it pretty well, and now we're just going to work on kind of finishing it up. Now, you can attach the lid here by 2 ways. One is to sort of make a loop and kind of encircle the lid, and I'm showing you here. And then you would tie it on using that method. But this leaves the string on the outside of the lid. Now, it usually doesn't create too much of a problem for your piece of paper there, so you could definitely do that if you like the look. I'm actually just going to glue the string to the inside of the lid. So I'm using some hot glue to take that circle and glue it down to the lid. And then I'm putting in the actual mason jar part that you would seal it with if you're actually canning something. I'm finding the top of my lid where the sentiment is, where I want the string to hang, and then I'm just using some hot glue and kind of smushing the string into the hot glue to make sure that it stays really well. I'm going to cover it up with a little additional hot glue on top here, again, just to make sure it stays really strong and doesn't come off. And then all you're going to do is get some flowers. Now, my first one I used punched flowers that I sponged. These are some paper flowers that I have from Prima, and I think from some Recollections, and I'm using a couple of different sprays to color them. Some Heidi Swap and some Lindy's Stamp Gang in various pink colors. And then once they're all colored, I'm going to use some 3-in-1 glue and use that to attach them on the lid here. And just kind of making them look pretty in a pretty layout. The one flower I didn't color, it was already pink, so I left it that soft pink. And the other paper flowers I had, I did kind of in shades of pink, a little bit darker. Some are kind of more coral. But again, it's kind of a spring theme. So once I was done getting the flowers on, I felt like it needed something more that wasn't in the pink family here. So I'm going to go get a paper leaf from Prima, and I'm going to color that with some sprays as well. I think I used another. Oh, actually, the spray I'm going to use here is a spray that I made myself. The mica is called Maniacal Pea, and it's from a company called Mad Oils. A lot of you know I do soaping as well, so I took some of the mica from that company and mixed it in water and made my own spray. I'm also using some Lindy's Stamp Gang spray, and I think that's Bells of Ireland is the name of that green. But I felt like the lid kind of needed a kind of a shot of green to liven it up there a little bit. It was having too much pink on the flowers and the paper. And then all I'm going to do is tie it to the top of my jar. Make sure it's nice and tight. I tie a knot first, so I'm sure it's not going to fall off. And then just do a bow, any kind of bow that you like. You could even do a ribbon here. I use some string from Stamping Up. But anything to attach it will work just well. And then I just cut the ends off. And that's it. And then I have a still photo to show you a little bit of a close-up of the final project. And I hope you like this 3D project. It should take you about an hour, or maybe an hour and a half. And it's a quick and easy project, and it looks pretty cool, and you can use it to hold pencils and paintbrushes and all kinds of things. Okay, thanks for watching. Check back here at Divinely Designed for more crafty and soapy videos.